Good morning, Standard 8 students. Today I shall be teaching you a poetry, Ode to Autumn. Okay, before I go ahead to explain the poem, we must understand the meaning of the poem. That is ode. Now, what is an ode? Okay, ode means a song or maybe in praise of a particular season or hero or any animal. So when we sing in praise of somebody, we call it an ode. Okay. So here it means ode to autumn means a song to autumn. In simple words. I will not go with the Greek word and all from where it has been originated. I'll keep it very simple. It is a song of praise to the season autumn. Now, autumn is a season. After autumn comes winter. Okay. Now, we are talking about a particular season which is experienced in the northern hemisphere, and we are talking about England, a particular country in the northern hemisphere. Okay, how they have got summers, and when there is a transition, when there is a change, like they have summers, autumn, winters, then spring, and all that. Okay. So now the season autumn means at that time where the trees they shed their leaves and the new ones grow. Okay. So now when during the summer season, the summers are very pleasant in England, and when the summer season is getting over, then everybody gets affected because they love the summers. Then again, they have winters and they have severe winters. So, in this particular poetry, we are talking about the autumn season. The autumn season is a season between summers and winters. Okay. Like when the autumn ends, we come into winters. And the summers and the autumn season, they are very closely related to each other. Okay. Now it is not the summer. When I talk about summers, I'm not talking about like our country. It is very, very hot. But in England, it is very pleasant. They love the summer season. So now we talk about the first, that this particular poetry has been divided into three parts. Okay. So I will explain the first part. Now, seasons of mist and mellow fruitfulness. Okay. Now, the seasons of mist and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun. Now, here he's talking about, when we talk about the mist, then we are talking about winter season. So, this is just the beginning of the winter season. Okay. Before the summers can come to an end, or before the autumn season could come to an end, because then they are welcoming winters. And mellow freshness, fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun. Now, the season of mist and the mellow fruitfulness, we're talking about, we are personifying the autumn season. Okay. Now, the autumn season is the season that is bringing the end of the summer season, and it is nearing towards the winter season. Okay, it is in between the summers and the winter season. Now, what happens in between? So, here they have personified the autumn season to a woman and the maturing sun to a man. Okay. Now, with the help of the sunlight, a lot of these fruits, flowers, they get mature. So that is why they said they are close bosoms. Now they have been personified as man and woman. The autumn season has been personified as a woman. Means the poet has given the autumn season the shape of a woman or the work of a woman, and the maturing sun being more powerful, like a man. A man, physically, he is more powerful than a woman. So that is why they have personified the sun as a man. They say they are two bosom. The sun and the autumn season are supposed to be very close, very dear friends to each other. And when two close friends or dear friends, when they are together, then they conspire. Now, this conspiracy is not a negative one. Together, they would want to do their best. Two good friends will always think for the betterment of the society. They will plan to see in which way they could be helpful to help people in need. Okay. So here the season, the autumn season and the sun, they become two close friends. And what good do they want to do before the winter season comes in? So they feel that they have got the responsibility to do something before the severe winters come. So what they do is, now conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch he's done. Now what are they conspiring? With the help of the sun, okay, the sun rays and all that. Now what their conspiracy was, what they planned was, let us, as long as we are present, let us ripen all the fruits. Let us help the fruit to grow in abundance. So here he says, regarding the wine, now grapes, they grow on creepers. They call it vine. Okay. And they are climbers. So usually what they do is, most of these creepers or climber plants, they climb towards the houses or maybe towards another big tree or to the boundary wall. Wherever they get a support, they will grow accordingly. Okay. So most of the thatched roofs have got these creepers or these vines growing on them. Okay. To bend with apples and moss cottage trees. That means this is the place. Now even the apple trees, they grow in abundance, and the branches, due to the weight of the plenty or abundance of apples, even the weight of the trees weighs down. And they call it the moss cottage trees because they are at the side of the cottage and they are greenish in color, as if they have been covered with moss. Because after the rainy season, what happens? These houses and plants and any object, if it is kept there for a long time uncared for, it gathers a lot of moss. So that is the way they are explaining how the autumn season and the sun together, how they have planned to ripen the fruits or to help the wine trees to grow more and more so that they could produce more and more fruits. And to fill all fruits with ripeness to the core. That means before the coming of the winter season, they would want that all the fruits that are grown at that particular time to ripen right to the middle of the fruit. The core means the inside part of the fruit, like an apple. Okay. To swell the ground and plump the hazel shells. Now they would want that, make before the winter season could come, they would want that all the fruits should swell, means should turn bigger and bigger. Okay. And ripen with a sweet kernel to set budding more. Now, sweet kernel is the nut or the shell. Now, some fruits grow with the shell or a nut outside. So, they would want every part of the fruit to be ripened and it should benefit the people. That is what John Keats is trying to explain to us. How the autumn season is so beneficial. How, with the help of the sun, like two friends working together to make life more enjoyable before the severe winters could arrive. And still more, the buds. So they would want that the flowers should bloom before the coming of the winter season. Because the winter season is such that they have snowfall and all these plants and all to die off. So before the coming of the winter season, they would want all the flowers to bloom. And when there are plenty of flowers blooming, these flowers attract the bees. Okay. And the bees, they come to suck the pollen and then they convert the pollen into honey. So before the winter season, the honeycombs are filled with honey. Now, what he actually meant was some of these animals they hibernate during the winter season. So they help all these nuts and all these gourds, the plants that grow on creepers, to ripen up because they need food. They store the food for those animals or creatures or who hibernate during the winter season. So that is what their plan is. Like two good Samaritans, okay, like two good friends. They are working to help and benefit the society before the trouble could take place. So this is the first part of the poem Ode to Autumn. Okay. Then I shall explain again in the next class. Thank you.